Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. It's one of your hosts, Morgan Klein, and today we're talking about values and the fact that values are caught and not taught. So really the power of modeling and living your values. So first I want to kick this off and talk about 3 reasons why values are so important and how I've been able to use them in my own life. So number 1, they're guiding principles. They help you set priorities, not just in your life and in your business, but in the people that you connect with. So what are the things that matter the most to you? Number 2, it helps you shape your identity. So it's how you perceive yourself and maybe how you perceive others and how others are going to perceive you, right? So when we really hone in on what makes us who we are based on our values and our guiding principles, we can then lock arms with the people that share some of those guiding lights and core principles. And then number 3, decision making. Having a set of core values helps you say yes to things and it helps you say no to things. So when you're faced with a decision to make, and it may be a tough decision, you can go back to what are your core values? And is this decision in alignment with my core values and my guiding principles, or is it not in alignment? And so that can really, really, really help you decide how to say yes to things and how to say no to things. And when we talk about the power of modeling, the quote, values are caught, not taught, really stuck out to me when I heard it about 2 years ago, specifically for me in the parenting world. I have 3 kids, as you guys may know, and it's important that I practice what I preach, and that if I want my kids to model certain behavior, they need to see it from me first. And so that concept of modeling and the fact that values are going to be caught by somebody, right? They're going to see it. They're going to see that behavior in you. You're not just telling them. And that really goes back to one of my core values, which is integrity. And I'm going to share what my core values are. But if you truly want to be a role model, whether that is to a friend, whether that's to your kids, whether that's even to a family member or a parent, right? Because we all have the opportunity to influence people in a positive way. It's truly about your behavior first. And if you want to model something or you want something in somebody else, ask yourself, look in the mirror and say, am I even doing that? Are my expectations being realized by my own behaviors? So it's important because you are and you have the opportunity to be a role model. So those values that you talk about need to be modeled and behaved of consistently. You have influence, okay? You have influence on these people that I just talked about. Specifically for me, I have influence over my children in such a deep way. They are 7, 5, and 3. They are watching my every move. They are watching my husband's every move. The people I surround them with, they are like sponges. And I can only control when I'm around them, because here's the thing, they're going to be influenced by other things that you cannot control, right? They're going to school. They may be watching something on TV. They're going to end up having certain friends that they are around that you're not always there monitoring that behavior. So it's very important for me to almost overcorrect my behavior in front of them so they know how important that positive behavior is. And when they're faced with maybe somebody or something that isn't showing them those same core values and behaviors, then they know that, hey, that's not right. They can identify that much quicker because it's modeled to them consistently over time. So being a role model, having influence, and again, all of this boils down to what actions are you showing your children and what are you expecting out of them that you're not even doing yourself? And sometimes that's a big gut check. Even for me, there's times where I'm like telling my kids to do something, but maybe I'm not doing it very consistently around them. And shame on me for not modeling that, because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than somebody saying, do this, do that, act like this, act like that, and then they don't even do that themselves. I just feel like it's a loss of integrity in general. And that's one of my biggest core values is integrity. So let me go ahead and segue to that. Do you have a set of core values or core principles that are guiding you? Like truly, first it starts with yourself, but then it extends into your family. And so Devin and I, a lot of the same core values that we have at Burn Boot Camp are also how we feel at our home, because obviously we built this brand, we built the core values. I added a couple, actually one extra one that I'm going to share with you guys that is not necessarily a Burn Boot Camp core value, but let me talk about what they mean to me and why I have also used that in my home life. So number 1 is people first. It's about wanting other people to win. It's about wanting to do always what's right by others. Okay, not in the sacrifice of not doing what's right by you, but when you put people first, you want to see others be successful and you want them to feel like they're being seen and heard and valued. And so I very much believe that in my business at Burn Bootcamp. It's how are we allowing other people to be successful? And when we're making decisions, is this the right decision by other people, or is this only the right decision by us? Because that's a very selfish mindset. And so when we're making decisions in life and when we're deciding to do things, you got to think about other people first as well as yourself. And that goes for my children as well. I don't want them to be selfish. I don't want them to only think of themselves. I don't want them to only play with their toys and, not share things and not share, experiences with other people and not let other people be seen and make it all about them. So people first is translated into both my home and my business. Number 2 is integrity. I talked about that already. It's about doing what you say you're going to do. And a lot of this goes into this messaging of values are, caught and not taught. Don't just say something. Actually walk the walk too. So integrity is all about saying what you say you're going to do, and it's about doing the right thing. And I just feel like that's a staple core value that really anyone should have. So for me personally, if I feel like others don't have integrity that I'm surrounding myself with, it's very hard for me to be aligned with them because it's so important to me. And I want that to be important to my kids. I don't want them to lie. I don't want them to manipulate. I don't want them to say things and then not follow through. So that to me is integrity in both areas. Authenticity, staying true to who you are. Burn Bootcamp wants to stay true to the soul of the brand. We want to continue to serve the members that got us to where we are, which is women, right? If you've been a part of this brand for a long time, you know that we started as a fit community of moms. Then we became a fit community of women. And over time, our brand has evolved to include, women and their families. So you see more men in our camps, but ultimately we are here to serve that one core audience. And we're staying true to who we are, even though sometimes it may be easier to do something to gain. You have to ask yourself, is this really who I am? Is this who I want to be? And is this staying authentic and true to who I am at my core? And at home, that's the same thing. I want my kids to see me show up in every space consistently because I want them to feel like they can show up exactly who they are, no matter what, whether that's in the classroom, at home, at a tryout, at an audition, around their family, around their friends. I want them to be exactly who they are and know that they're going to be loved and accepted by the right people when they are authentic to themselves. Number 4, pride in results. We celebrate other people's success, okay? This is huge in Burn Bootcamp, right? Whether it's your first double under, or it's a gym that celebrated the 500 club, or it's a gym that just hit the $1 million club. We like to celebrate. We like to take pride in the results that we work really, really hard for. And we like to not only be proud of ourselves, but be proud of other people too, and the people around us that helped us get to those goals. And so at home, I want to celebrate their success when they come home and show me their homework. I want to make sure that they feel celebrated at every little and big thing that they do in their life, because that's going to motivate them to keep getting proud of results, proud of the things that they work hard for. And that takes me to my last core value, hard work. This is not something that's written on Burn Bootcamp's core values, but it is something that is really, really big in my home. I want my kids to work hard for what they want. I want nothing given and handed to them, because nothing was given and handed to me or my husband. And I think as parents, we want our kids to have things better in life than we had them, right? Whether that's you grew up in a bad home and you want to provide a safer space for your kids, or maybe Christmas wasn't a fun time and you want to now create these memories that you didn't have, right? We always are trying to do better for our children, or we're trying to protect them from harm and from hurt. And that's completely understandable. And I feel the same way, but I always want to make sure that I'm balancing that with, are things getting handed to them? Are they feeling entitled? Are they, expecting things that they didn't work hard for? And so I have these little sponges at home, and I'm shaping their work ethic. And it starts with me. It starts with, how do they see me working hard for what I want? And how do they see me sacrificing things that I want to accomplish? And even though sometimes it's hard as a mom to be sacrificing things, it's all for this greater good. It's all for something that I'm trying to achieve. And so that's a big behavior that I want to instill in them. So when they are set free in this world, that they go out there and they work hard for what they want and they create opportunities, not just for themselves, but for the people around them to be successful. And that success can mean so many different things. So that's my core values. And that's why I just want to encourage you today, if you don't have core values or you're not really bound by a set of guiding principles, take some time to really think about that, right? Like think about who are you? Who are you as a person? Who are you guys as a family or as a, you and your spouse maybe? What are things that are important to you that maybe you don't have kids yet? This is a great exercise before you want to start a family is how we're going to raise our kids. What are going to be the values that we need to instill in our children? And then check yourself. Are you modeling them? Are you going to be, teaching that through word or by action? Because the best way to teach others is by action. But it all starts and stops with you. So that's my challenge to you guys today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please make sure that you're sharing this podcast with other people. Go write down your core values today. Come follow me on Instagram, morgan.a.klein, and share with me what your core values are. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.